Good afternoon, and welcome to Common Ground. I am Fernandito Bosa, the intern, sitting in for Sheriff Steve W. Thompson. Today, my guest is Clara Angelina Diaz, and I'd like to welcome her to the show. Welcome, Angelina.
Thank you so much for
Clara.
having me.
So nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Well, let's begin at the beginning, because we have a couple of stories we're going to be talking a little bit about, but let's begin at the story, the business that you're doing right now as life coaching.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I am so passionate to do this work of life coaching. The name of my company is ClaraFying Life and Business Wisdom. And what I do is that I focus on helping women and their families to achieve their personal goals, to be confident in themselves, and to really work towards their dreams and their purpose.
When you say work within their personal goals, sometimes people have ambitions, sometimes they have dreams, sometimes they have goals. What seems to be some of the barriers you find that people getting to that point?
That's a great question. So one of the greatest barriers to actually achieving your goals is knowing what you want to achieve. So that's the first thing, like having a clear idea of this is what I want. The second biggest obstacle is believing that you can achieve that. Like actually believing that you have the ability within yourself to achieve that. And the third is you believing that you are worthy of achieving those goals and actually having what you want in your life.
Oh, those are great points. So even though there are times that might not be in the moment financially, or maybe transportationally, or maybe families that one is taken care of that gets in the way, then becomes more of a responsibility. When you have these three obstacles in the way, but still having that goal and trying to get to that point, these are some of the factors, the filters we need to go through.
Right. So I think what you're talking about, Fernandito, are external barriers versus internal barriers, right?
Okay.
And I think that internal barriers tend to be greater than external barriers. And because we have the privilege of living in the United States of America, right, that allows us all the opportunities and resources that there are, I think the number one problem is overcoming internal barriers. Because if you really want to get somewhere, you will get there. If you really want something internally, like you can find a way to achieve it. So all of those things that you mentioned, yes, that's very true. Like there are, transportation barriers and income barriers and, family dynamic barriers. But until you are clear about what you want and you understand that you deserve that thing that you want and that you are worthy of it. Where there is a will, there is a way. And what I specialize is in helping people get clear and understand that inside of them lies a power that is beyond any external obstacle that is in front of them.
Empowerment.
Yes.
Empowerment, which can be defined in 4 different categories.
Okay, yes.
So let's talk a little bit about some of those, categories that you have.
Yeah.
That you have laid out, and we talked about earlier.
Yeah. So, the main thing that I focus on is on helping people understand what is their purpose, right? And so when I talk about purpose, right, I don't mean on like the one and only thing that you're going to achieve in life, but instead, what is the direction that you are moving in? What is it that you want, and doing that intentionally? Like if let's say you want to go back to school, right? But it's not that you're going to go back to school because everybody else thinks that you should go back to school. It's that you want to go back to school for a very specific reason. So getting very clear on what you want and why you want it is one of the points that we talked about earlier. Second to that is really looking at internal barriers, in the mindset that keeps you from already achieving what you want. So that's where the mindset empowerment comes in. And then the third one is financial independence, and really looking at, okay, now that I know what I want and why I want that thing, be it a better job, going back to school, if you're in school, actually getting good grades, whatever, starting a business, whatever that is, once you know what you want, why you want it, and then you have the mindset that you believe that you deserve and that there are ways, then we actually work on an intentional action plan, a real plan for you to obtain what you want. Because yes, once you have all that internal power and you're like, yes, I want to buy my house, I know why I want to buy it, I know that I deserve it, and you look at, okay, what do I need to do now? What step do I need to take in order to get what I want? Then I help people to really look at a plan so that they can achieve what they want within a year's time. So that's what I work on, on specific plans. So I have created a program called Create Your Best Year One Day at a Time. What that means is really, what does your best year look like? Very different your year from mine, right, Fernandito?
Yes.
Right? And so there are 8 categories of life that I look at. And there's an exercise I do called the Wheel of Life, which, I invite people to look into, which basically looks at 8 different areas of your life. Everything from your personal finances to your relationships, even your spirituality. And really look at, okay, in those 8 different areas, where do I want to make a change? What are the areas that I'm already doing really good at? And what can I take from that particular area that I can apply to the area that I'm not doing so good in? And so that's kind of the premise of the work that I do. And it's really about helping people step out of their comfort zones, really holding them accountable, being a cheerleader, an encourager for them. In a world where we have so many critics, and so many people saying you can't do that, or a TV and the media saying, come and buy these things. But how about you yourself? Why do you want what you want? And how can someone stand by your side to achieve the things that you want specifically? And that's the work that a life coach does, and that's what I do. Specifically working with women, working with organizations that are already supporting women, helping those organizations craft life coaching programs, group programs that create sustainable change in women by helping the women support each other, really get clear on their personal goals, and then ways that those specific women can give back to their community. Because once you feel empowered, you want to help somebody else.
Yeah, I'm actually listening to you, but at the same time, I'm kind of listening to you, thinking with my eyes closed and hearing you speaking that way. And it's kind of like how, really coaches work. It's delivering the message, be real clear and decisive and very detailed. And if you follow those protocols, it really does work. You have your website that also takes you into the website, read a little bit about, the areas that you're in and what you're doing. You're also looking to, is it write a book or are you planning to do something down that line?
Absolutely. Well, the book has already been written.
Okay, right. The book is out and is the same name as my coaching program called Create Your Best Year One Day at a Time. And that book is available as an audiobook in English and in Spanish, and people can download it from any digital media you can think of. So iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, and it's also on my website. And what that is basically a tool for you to coach yourself. For you to get into what coaching really means, to look at the different areas of your life, to help you get motivated on really identifying what is your major goal for the year and what are steps that you can take on a daily basis to move yourself towards that goal. It also has like some inspirational poetry because, I'm an artist. I have that artist background, and inspirational music and relaxing music. And so what I did is try to kind of create this coaching in a bottle so that I can reach as many people as I possibly could. So that audiobook now turning itself into a physical book that has a workbook as well, where people can really identify what are my goals, why do I want these goals, and go really deep
into why they want what they want and what are the actions that are necessary. And it also has a community component in there too, so people can really build a support network around them, because it's not just about me helping you, but it's about how do you engage your community in helping you achieve what you want. And so next year, I'll be having a book tour right in Massachusetts, where I will be making stops in various places in the community, starting with the Fairmont Innovation Lab right here in Dorchester. And I'll be having a series of workshops around this same concept of really getting clear about your goals, and really taking action and getting support to achieve what you want. Because, Fernandito, I believe that it is not until you yourself become empowered that you can empower another. You know, sometimes we look at, okay, people say, you know, you do good for others and somehow good will come to you. I think that's one philosophy, but my philosophy really is empower yourself, like get clear on what you want and start taking action to move to where you want. And in the process, you can also help others first and foremost by being an example.
That's right. And in that example, you mentioned artists.
Yeah.
You also paint.
Yeah.
And you're also a salsa dancer.
I am.
Tell me a little bit about your artist, a little bit of your artist in that background.
Yeah, well, you know, I kind of became like an accidental artist. My father is a bit of an artist. My grandfather, he was also a designer. He designed shoes back in the Dominican Republic. So I think the artist vein is within me. So for many years, I exhibited my work. I sold my paintings, and all my paintings were focused around the same idea that, you know, there is a power within you that, if I can say, you know, God's spirit lives within us and wants us to do good within ourselves and do good for others. So all of my paintings were focused around that and on, I guess you call it these progressive ideas of taking one step at a time in order to achieve things, to really be empowered, to really own your talents. So things happen miraculously where one day I'm, you know, painting in my kitchen and next thing you know, I'm exhibiting at the State House. And so for me, it was just one more vehicle to take the message of what I hold to be true about people, that, you know, innately I believe people are good, and that it is by acknowledging the good inside of you, you know, that you can move forward. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that, you know, people need to be fixed. I don't really believe in broken people. You know, I believe that there are situations that happen to us that allow us to forget who we really are. And the painting was, you know, just another tool.
That's awesome. As you clearly describe that, and literally visually, I could see your paintings as you speak. You also, as an artist, as we go back a little more, you also had an opportunity to work a little bit in the community and do some TV. Yeah. So you were able to not only be able to experience part of that entertainment, knowing how to communicate with people, how to interview, how to reach out to the entertainment world, and being able to express your art, their art, and bring it all in one.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was a wonderful opportunity that was given to me on your past show. And I'm very grateful for it because, you know, once an artist, always an artist, right? Mm-hmm. And being able to express yourself and being able to be with all types of people, you know, all the way from, you know, who we call the stars to the people that are in the most need in our community, right? I think that in order to serve the highest, you also have to serve the lowest. And so that was a great opportunity for me. I really enjoy just connecting with all kinds of people because at the end of the day, we're all the same, right? We all have that spirit that lives within us, and some people just have been able to recognize it more and recognize their talents more and being able to get, you know, to positions of being in the red carpet. Like I had the opportunity to interview like an Olympic champion and people in telenovelas and actors, and that's all great and dandy. And I think I take from that experience that we all have the possibility to get to any state that we want, even if it's stardom. You know, like if you really recognize your talent and you work at it as much as the people in Hollywood do, I mean, you can get there too if that's what you want.
Yeah, yeah. And I agree with you because a lot of folks that came through the show also today are in a professional business in that area. You know, they're producers, directors, magazine writers, you know, fashion designers and poetry, art, and things of that nature. So it is like a sort of a way that opens the doors for so many areas, and then you just kind of pick and choose where you want to go with it. But it does help a little bit to be able to get out there and communicate and work with people in all different levels and cultures and languages, which is kind of
absolutely. Yeah. Your show was amazing for that. You know, we met people of all types, you know, and singers and dancers and choreographers, and that was amazing. It's an amazing experience, and to be able to communicate with people at all levels.
Yeah. So now with the coaching, let's go back to the coaching. You're right now in some organizations. We don't have to name them, but some of the organizations. What is that like? How do the women do? Is it just women pre-register, and do they come signed up already? How large is the class per sessions? How does those? You know, those.
How does that work, right? Yeah. Well, I work with organizations in basically establishing group life coaching programs. And so what that looks like is basically women of all different ages come to commit to achieving their goals for a year, right? To working on their personal empowerment. And in that process, also helping another woman. And so, you know, these organizations basically contract me to come in, help them craft these programs and help them facilitate, and also to train the participants to be future facilitators. And also, you know, so we're basically training the women to become leaders. I also have a one-on-one practice where I work with people privately. And so people come to me because, you know, they see me on your show, or, you know, they've been to my website. I also speak at conferences. But mostly my work, I have worked with men, but my work and my specialty is really working with women, because I feel, you know, that women are the backbone of our society. You know, they are the mothers, they just don't have to go to work, but they also have to take care of the children. So I feel that if we work on empowering women, that's my piece of the contribution that I can make, you know, to make this world a better place. So yeah, I mean, the women come from all different walks of life. A lot of the organizations that I work with are in, I guess you would call it, neighborhoods with limited resources, where this concept of coaching is like this high-level concept where it was introduced in corporate America, you know, as an executive coaching. And my philosophy has always been, what if we take this concept, right, this high concept of helping our leaders get further and really help those at the bottom that really need it? What would happen? And I think that's my own way to really lift people up, is by taking these higher concepts and introducing them to those who need it most.
So I'm hearing motherhood.
Yes.
Is this something that came from like some of the ethics that moms also brought into you, or did you also become a mom and it's something that it became like a natural thing for you?
Well, you know, I've always have, you know, so much respect for mothers. I mean, how can I not? But I become a mother. And so one thing is for you to read about it, one thing is for you to see it, but when you experience, you know, being a mother yourself, it definitely, you know, made my passion greater for really wanting to help women and really strengthen the woman in all senses, in every way. Yeah.
Well, we're almost closing to wrapping up. Is there anything that we want to mention that we maybe skipped or missed, or just folks should go to the website, look into what they're doing. Obviously, there's organizations out there, businesses that are interested in inviting you and to talk about the opportunities of life coach that you could provide in their services for women. This is an opportunity to do that.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Well, I work with both nonprofit organizations and for-profit organizations that already support women, organizations that have, obviously women working for them. I can come in and speak to them and really give them an experience of what coaching really is. We can always talk about the concept, but it's about really experiencing it. So I do workshops and one-on-one sessions, and so if people are interested, they can always go on my website, which is my full name, ClaraAngelinaDiaz.com, and they can also call me. And my phone number is 617-378-7355. I have my book coming out next year, and so I'm going to be doing a book tour, and so all that information is on the website, and I really invite people to really define their goals and reach out, and I would love to connect with you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Clara Angelina Diaz, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
That's Common Ground. We'll be back.